Hey everyone. Yeah, I thought I'd give you my thoughts in reaction to because if you woke up this morning like I did, one of the first things you read about, was that there's a new X-Men trailer out. That's right. Well, a new X-Men trailer is out. Well, basically, it's the first X-Men Apocalypse trailer. What I was trying to say is that we have a new trailer that's come out, a new movie trailer, and it's the first X-Men, and it's the first trailer for X-Men Apocalypse. And is it just me, or has this been these past 7 to 9 days, been a week and 2 days worth of trailers? I mean, last Wednesday, Thursday, it was Batman vs. Superman, the second trailer, which got mixed reactions. This past Wednesday, it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows trailer. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows. Now, all of a sudden, today, I wake up, I look on my Kindle, and it says, X-Men Apocalypse trailer is out. I look on Facebook, and it says, X-Men Apocalypse trailer has been released. And quite honestly, folks, I'm just like, and excuse my language, Lord, for saying this, are you shitting me? I mean, I think as a public, we are getting spoiled with trailers, but I could understand why. You see, there's a reason this is happening, and some of you may not know this. Next week, and they talked about it on the Today Show this morning, and I'm sure they talked about it on many outlets throughout as we get closer. Star Wars The Force Awakens is coming out next week, and a lot of people are hyped about it. They are hyped to the gills about that film. They are so hyped to the gills for that film that they are completely ignoring anything else movie-wise, in a sense. Anything else movie-wise, they are completely ignoring. So what does all these studios do? What does WB do? Here's the second trailer of Batman vs. Superman on Jimmy Kimmel as well as on YouTube. What does Paramount and Nickelodeon do? Here's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows trailer. And to top it off, how do you end the week? What does 20th Century Fox do along with the okay from Marvel? Because don't think Marvel's not involved, because they are. Because if they weren't, they wouldn't let the name be used in the presentation. What does they do? They say, okay, here's X-Men Apocalypse. Now you might say, well, Marvel's under the same umbrella as Star Wars. They're owned by Disney. Doesn't mean there's not some internal kind of conflict. And again, you can't tell me that Marvel doesn't have some kind of representative, working with them at 20th Century Fox. Yeah, I mean, everybody would like the Marvel license to go back to X-Men to go back to Marvel officially so that they could be part of the MCU. But until some kind of agreement is made between Disney and 20th Century Fox, or Marvel and 20th Century Fox, like there was between Marvel and Sony, that's not going to happen. But anyway, this is a trailer. I'm not going to try to give much away, but I will tell you what my thoughts are. This is a trailer that is really going to get you hyped up to see X-Men Apocalypse. It's a trailer that's going to actually surprise you a lot. Let me explain. Now, we do know that there are certain characters involved in the film. We know there's going to be a younger version of, Cyclops, Scott Summer, younger version of Jean Grey. We know Beast is going to be in there. We know Jubilee's going to be there. We know Storm's going to be there. We know Magneto. We know Psylocke. But there are a few surprises that really got us. Now I have to go back and look online as to who some of these characters are. But some of the surprises that got us really got us. For example, one of the X-Men in the film, and I think he may have been talked about, but I still think some people are like, really? Wasn't he in the second film? Yeah, he was, but Nightcrawler is on the X-Men team in this film. He's in this film. Now, there's another character. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know if it's Hank. I don't know who it is. Again, I don't really know, again, who the character is. Again, like I said, I don't know if it's Hank. I don't know who it is. But he's in the film. I think he's part of the X-Men. I got to look online who it is. He's kind of like represented by a red T-shirt or something like that. And he's got like a little bit of a beard at times. Now, some might say that is Hank. But then who was the person with Charles going into the CIA? Because they actually go to the CIA. And I don't know if they meet up with Myra McTaggart or who they meet up with. But whoever the lady is they meet up with, I'm assuming it's Myra. She reveals to them that since mutants have been discovered, a lot of secret societies are out there. There's a lot of secret societies that are out there that have formed because they believe, these secret societies and groups, they believe that mutants are the second coming or a sign from God. This leads her into explaining that a lot of them all have one thing in common, that they believe this all began back in Egyptian times, back in ancient times, where a lot of people believed that basically she explains to them that a lot of these societies believe that this whole mutant phenomenon began back in ancient and Egyptian times, if you will, where a lot of the people in that time period look to one mythological being as being the first. And Charles kind of finishes that off by saying mutant. So basically that leads Myra into explaining the legend, the mythology of this character. She goes on to explain that this being, this mutant, the first, always had four people or four minions or four people accompanying him, four soldiers or whatever you want to call them, accompanying him at all different periods of time. And I'm guessing Hank acknowledges this. I'm not really sure. Again, who it is, I think that's Hank. Hank, it might be Cyclops for all we know. I don't really know. But I'm assuming it's Hank. He acknowledges that the four beings she's referencing to are like the four beings of the apocalypse that this guy could have got from the Bible, but then she kind of counters that by saying that he may have gotten it, or the Bible may have gotten it from him. So, yeah, you have that there, and just a lot of good things about this film. And right off the bat, you see Jean Grey having this vision of the end of the world, which Charles tries to play off and tell us that, which Charles tries to reassure her was nothing more than a dream. Tries to reassure her was nothing more than a dream, but this right here, this first scene in X-Men Apocalypse, it gives you an idea of how powerful Jean's going to get even at a young age. It does. It gives you an idea of exactly how powerful she's going to be. Yes, we saw how powerful she's going to be at a young age at the beginning of the now eradicated non-canon Last Stand film. We saw that. The Last Stand film. We saw that. But it seems, and this is another thing you're going to take away from this trailer, it seems that this it seems that Days of Future Past did more alterating than we ever expected, more rebooting than we thought. I mean, seriously. Because here, I guess now in a more altered, rebooted world, we kind of see exactly we kind of get an idea of how powerful she's going to be. Because out of all people to get this glimpse, to get this, vision of the end of the world, well, she basically acknowledges she could feel the death of people all around her, and Charles cannot. It's like, what's going on here? And of course, you also have, it looks like Mystique is back, and because of the situation, it looks like she's back on the side of the X-Men. And she even tells the X-Men that this is war, when I think Cyclops tells her that not all of them can control the power. She tells them basically that this is war, and you need to start doing so. Or something like that. Just a lot gets taken from here. Just a lot gets taken. You just take a lot from this film. You notice a lot of things too. Like I said, you kind of notice exactly some of the alterations and changes. Excuse me. The alteration and changes that Days of Future Past did. You kind of notice that. You really do. You notice that scenario. And it's just a phenomenal, and to me, maybe it's just me because I've been a fan of X-Men for a long time like anybody else, but to me, this has gotten me hyped to want to go see the movie in May, at the end of May. It makes me want to go see it. And you know what? I'll tell you this. Civil War, Captain America Civil War, it may be the best one. It may be the better, it might. I'll say this, Civil War is going to have a fight on its hands. Because it looks like 20th Century Fox is not going to do what WB did and move the movie to a later or earlier date. They're saying, we're going to go right one-on-one with you. So it's going to be really interesting to see who wins at the box office that weekend. But this is just an amazing feel. This is just an amazing trailer that you just have to see to believe. You really have to see this trailer because a lot gets revealed in it. A lot of surprises. I'll say that. Like certain characters you didn't even know about were going to be there, and it's going to have you asking, well, how is that possible and all this? Now, like I said about the Ninja Turtles trailer, it's not the first. It's not the first or last trailer. There's going to be another trailer to follow. Especially as we get towards Super Bowl 50, there's going to be another one. You know that. You know it's going to happen. You know it's coming. So, I'll tell you this, though. Those first 3 weeks of the summer next year are going to be are going to be huge weeks for movies, especially based on comic books or franchises and all that. Because you got Captain America Civil War, you've got, like I said, you got Captain America Civil War, you've got this movie, and then you got Out of the Shadows. It's like, what the hey? So, it's going to be really, really interesting. It looks like 2016 is going to be a massive, massive year. For movies based on superheroes and maybe based on video games. But still, this trailer for X-Men Apocalypse, you have to check it out. Just to see what I saw, and it just mentioned here, it's phenomenal. And in the ending of the trailer is going to really answer everybody's questions of exactly how Charles went from having hair, how Charles Xavier went from having hair to having none. You'll get an answer there. I don't know how much more to say about this. And I know some people are going to question why certain characters are in there when we saw them already in earlier films. And it's like I said, I think Days of Future Past did more alterating and more rebooting than we thought. It didn't just eradicate everything that happened with Last Stand. It basically changed the outset of what happened with X-Men United, with certain characters and all that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. Now, I know some of you might say, well, what if that's not the case? What if Nightcrawler, yeah, he's in the film, what if he ends up doing all this, forgetting that he was part of the X-Men, and he goes off on his own? That might happen too, but I don't think so. Overall, all I'm saying is this. X-Men Apocalypse, even though it's the first trailer, it's got me hyped, it's got me stoked to want to go see the movie. And if Bryan Singer's reputation is any to be said when it comes to these films, especially these trailers, the second trailer, which will probably come out around Super Bowl 50 or so, it's going to be even better. It's going to really get you hyped. So, excuse me. But that's all I'm going to say on this. I know I took a lot longer than I should, but I just had to explain, give you my reaction. I mean, I am just, from what I saw with this film, it's, from what, not film, but this trailer, it's going to make me, I'm going to want to go see this movie. It's really that good. And I know some people are thinking that, you know, it doesn't make, I know there's going to be some detractors that are saying, well, they should have waited to do Apocalypse with the older X-Men. Makes more sense. Yes, it does, but again, like I said, Days of Future Past really, I think in a sense, altered a lot of what you saw. And, you know, yes, it eradicated Last Stand, but it definitely, you could see, altered and rebooted some sequences, some segments, some moments, some situations from X-Men United. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, and when the movie comes out, or when the second trailer comes out, probably around February or March. But all I'm going to say is, as of right now, I am ready to see this movie. I am. This has got me stoked. This has got me ready. I mean, the way they portray Apocalypse in this is he's basically, it's basically acknowledged that he can control mutants. It's acknowledged in the movie he can control mutants, and that's how he's controlling Storm, Magneto, Archangel, and Psylocke. You know, that's how he's controlling them. So, again, the trailer looks really good, and I highly recommend checking it out if you have not already. So, that's all I'm going to say, folks. Again, I don't want to give too much away, and I'm trying not to, but definitely check this trailer out. You're going to like what you see. And I will say this is the first appearance officially of the all-black X-Men uniforms from a prequel standpoint. So that's all I'm going to say, folks. And just check this trailer out. You're going to really enjoy it. And I'm out.